Man, but the whole situation with the C virus feels like it got a lot of people rethinking where they see themselves in life. And that's where I'm at as well. Just rethinking my whole strategy now because I oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. There was a video I watched and they laid it to perspective that I guess kids like or just more people in general, like if you ask them like what they want to be when they grow up, a lot of them would just say a YouTuber. And I guess that puts into perspective like the number one thing people want to become is a YouTuber. So it's just them wishing to be famous.
Last year, a poll conducted by Harrison Lego revealed that the #1 dream job of kids in China 8 to 12 was astronaut. In the US and UK, it was YouTuber. There was nothing wrong with wanting to be a YouTuber, but I think that survey unmasks an increasing obsession with fame in Western countries. In the past, you wanted to be famous for a skill. I want to be a famous actor. I want to be a famous singer. I want to be a famous artist. I wonder if social media is giving a younger generation the impression that you should be famous just for existing.
And I guess that just puts it in perspective for me because, like, of course I want to do YouTube. Shit. Of course I want to do YouTube, but like, I don't want to just keep doing YouTube because the experience doing everything by yourself, being in a monitor, just looking at a screen, being like it's just a higher demanding time of a job more than a 9 to 5 because it's a lifestyle at that point. Like you just live and breathe just being a YouTuber. And I don't want to just live and breathe watching a screen and just sitting for a majority of my day, just recording, editing. I should just keep it as a hobby than trying to make it. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just trying to make it. Restrictions breed creativity. It was something like that. And I just really like how crazy, like it is insane how crazily restrictive the emblems are in For Honor. But I think it's extremely like amazing seeing what types of emblems people can make with such a restriction. Like I just see so many creative emblems in For Honor and I'm just like, wow, you made that with only that amount of layers? That's crazy. So like I was inspired by just by just having a name that you own. You know, like it's a mantle. Like you pick the name because you like it, but you're doing things to make sure that the name means something. And I'm like, that's really sick, you know? And the character that I made on on wrestling that I use on my channel. That I made that when I found out that La Parka, not LA Park, La Parka passed away. And I didn't know about that for like several months because I didn't have internet. I didn't have internet because that was last year. I would say that was last year was like the lowest point in my life, which is crazy saying with the situation that we're living in now in this year. But like at this point in my life, I just stopped watching wrestling. But when I heard that La Parka passed away, that really saddened me because I grew up watching La Parka. Like I grew up watching La Parka too and LA Park, and like that just brought back memories of just me watching lucha libre and all types of wrestling as a kid. So I made this character as like my own version of La Parka. So it has like the Bane mask look. He has the poses like from JoJo because I really like JoJo. And like he's his own character because it's what I like. It's like my own. It's like my version of like Miles' Spider-Man, you know. So it's like my version of La Parka, like a Miles version of La Parka, because it just takes elements of what I like and just mix it together into not being a direct like rip off, but just being my own remix. You know, just doing my own thing. And the crazy thing is, this is like the point of my life where I'm just like trying to figure it out, you know, just trying to figure where I see myself in the future. So when I made this character, I didn't name him Banetrigan. I just named him La Parka Bane. Because it was just me as La Parka. But then when I made this character and I was playing it with my friends, two of my closest friends said they weren't in the same party when they said this. But two of my friends said, "This is the most you character I've ever seen." And I was like, "Really? The most me character you have ever seen?" And it's like, yeah, because like the design is so you, the way he acts is so you. And like when you see this, it doesn't like really blend the way he's dressed, but the way he's dancing, but he's so committed to it. Like they just said like this character is the most you character I have ever seen, and they both said that, and they weren't in the same party, which interests me. And as I was playing the game solo, my mother walked in and she was looking at my screen and she was like, "You made that guy, didn't you?" And I was like, "Well, yes, I did make this character." And she's like, "Yeah, I can tell." that character just screams you. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, that character is so you. And I'm just like thinking to myself, 3 people who I'm close to just said this is the most you character. Like they both said, all 3 of them just said this is the most you I have ever seen. And I'm just and just thought about that, and I'm like, this is the most me? Really? And I'm like, if 3 people said that, and all 3 of them are not in the same party, I'm interested. Like I'm baffled. This is what people... Achievement. I need more healing. I was just baffled. Like, really? This is the most me character you have ever seen? So, I completely changed my YouTube channel, and now I'm trying to become this character. If it's an unrealistic goal, I honestly don't know. But I like the idea of working for my name, and if this is the most me character, I want to work to this goal. And if it is unrealistic, at least I tried. So I want to make this character into a reality. And all those goals I told you earlier of me just doing exercise, reading books, and working on poetry. Oh yeah, I also want to take up dancing. So like, I have goals. I know what I want. I know the steps I need to take to get there. And I guess I know my gimmick. So I have everything all set. Not set for me, but like, I know the steps that I need to take to get there, and it's a lot more clear than me doing YouTube. So I guess this will be my last video for this year. And I just want to keep being the most me. Like, there was this TED Talk I was watching. It's by a wrestler named Cowboy Gator McGraw. I keep wanting to say Cowboy Gator McGee, but I think it's McGraw. It's been a while I haven't watched the TikTok. But he talks about being a wrestler, it's being you, but dialed to 11, dialed to 12. It's being the most you. So if people who are closest to me are saying that this character is the most me, I want to be that. I want to be the most me possible.
Before he got up to get ready for his own match, he gave me this piece of advice that would change the entire direction of my life. He told me the best wrestlers are just themselves, but turned up. He said successful wrestlers find the traits within themselves are the strongest at and make those the focus of who they become in the ring. So there I sat, a scared teenager who didn't know who he was or why he was even wrestling anymore. I looked around the locker room at some of the other wrestlers and I thought, I look so different. How can I ever be like them? And then it hit me. That's the moment I realized I didn't have to be like them. What I did have to do was find out, what did it mean to be me? What made me unique, and how could I use it to my advantage? Now, I knew I wasn't a chiseled athlete like some of these guys, but I really didn't care. So the first thing I thought was, how can I amplify something as simple as comfortable with my own body. I didn't know. And then I thought, Speedo.
And for me to do that, I just had to get away from YouTube. I have an idea. I'm going to execute on that idea. The idea was executed. How did it turn out? It wasn't as good as an idea as I originally thought. So then I move on. Or that's not what I really wanted. Like I thought I did. Like the reason why I thought I wanted to be a rapper, it was because I just played with the thoughts of being a rapper for hours on end. But I never asked myself if I wanted the pain that comes with being a rapper. And I don't. Same with being a content creator. I don't want the pain that comes with being a content creator. But I am aware of the risks and pain that comes in being a wrestler. But I'm okay with taking that risk. You know, like I'm okay at taking that pain. I do wonder how many people go through. I guess it has to be a lot of people just trying to figure out where they're going, their pathway. Because I met people who wanted to be like just famous on YouTube to the point where they have achieved what they wanted, but they're not happy. They're not tackling videos that they want to. And it's like the best way I can describe it, it's like constantly chasing happiness is not what is good for you at the end. Because if all you do is just constantly chase highs of happiness, then that's to the same level of just chasing what makes you happy at the moment. It's just a short-term goal of happiness. It's not something that you're building upon. So like saying taking medicine or narcotics, like those are short-term happiness. But building a career, working on improving yourself, those are long-term happiness. Like maybe they won't make you happy at the moment, but down the road you will be happy. Because it's impossible being happy all the time. But if you're like I know the pain of doing this and I can handle that. Like what was it? When I was working, I was only working for like 6 months because that's what my contract said. but they were thinking about hiring me full time. Like if they extended my time, that would have guaranteed me working full time. And I think I would have been in that job because I think to this moment I would have been working there if it wasn't for the whole C virus. And I would have been happy because I understood my job and I understood the pain that came with the job. And I was okay dealing with that pain. The stress that comes with work. Because I was receiving benefits of doing this type of work that I would not be receiving from if I was just trying to do YouTube. So it's like what I'm trying to say is it's like, okay, I wake up in the 9 to 5. I only work for 5 days out of the week. I get paid for my hard work, and I'm also moving around. I'm not just staying at one spot. So like my work also requires me doing a lot of physical work. So that's good because I'm moving around. I'm working. I'm waking up in the 9 to 5. So I have like a schedule going on where like a routine. So I'm having a routine going on where I just wake up, go for work, come home, relax, work on what I want to work on. So you start building up a routine, you start moving around, you're getting paid. Getting paid gives you more flexibility on doing whatever you want to work on. And then because of the whole C virus, there's a couple of downtime. So because of the downtime, you have more like you still gotta do what you gotta do at certain times, but it's not overbearing work because there's not a lot of people there like it was when I was first working there. But I would have been fine if there was a lot of people working there as well because just trying to get a move around, just don't want to be stuck in one area just doing nothing. I just want to do my job. So then like you should just start noticing benefits and just working. So like your physical health is going, you're communicating or interacting with other people, you're just talking about like hobbies, goals, and then that gets you thinking about if you're accomplishing yours, how far down the road are you on accomplishing your goal? Like, what's your game plan? Stuff like that. And you start communicating in in a workplace, but you still got to keep it professional. And like in the job that I was working at, they had 30-minute lunches, but they understood that 30-minute lunches are annoying, so they give you hour lunches. You just gotta clock back before your time runs up for your 30-minute lunch. But then when you clock back in, they give you an extra 30 minutes. Like you just figure out how the workplace works, and then you just start adapting, and you just it's just I feel like that's a lot better of an experience than me just trying to be a YouTube creator. Like I want to be around other people. I want to interact. I want a more physical job. I like talking. I like talking to people. Like here, I'm just a one-man show. I'm just trying to entertain you guys with my mouth. Trying to keep you satisfied with my mouth. And it's just, I didn't want it to be just a one-man show. I had plans for my friends and us just building a community together, but that stopped being fun. And it's just like, with work, I can just do what I want, you know, like it's crazy because with YouTube, it's like if you have the time to create videos, you will create videos, you know. But if you're making money, you just start thinking about like, all right, if I'm gonna make all right, I want to be a content creator. I'm not making any money. How am I gonna make a rap album, or let's say just a video? All right, I can write the lyrics, or I can hire somebody to make the lyrics. You know, I can make a beat, or I can hire somebody who can take my vocals and put it into a beat. And it's like you just start thinking more freely. And I forgot who said this, but they said like you either spend time, what was it? You either spend time to learning how to do something, or you just hire somebody to do it for you. And the things that I've learned from making YouTube are transferable skills that I can take to wrestling. So I didn't really lose anything. So just being comfortable on the mic, just talking to people, like that's like I can transfer over that skills into wrestling. Like I don't know how good my mic sounds right now, but like I'm using my the muscles on my voice, and I'm constantly drinking water because I'm using my voice a lot. You know, like just having that presence talking. And since this is just a one-man show, I can't bounce back and forth with somebody in a conversation like I could with my friends. And I also want to get better at this, so I feel like that's where improv will come, where I just become more comfortable and just more comfortable not in just talking, but also just coming up with scenarios and dealing with situations that I just never thought about, you know? So it's just, I'd rather deal with the pain of work than deal with the pain of being a YouTuber. Before I was even going by the name Banetrigan, I was trying to figure out what I was going to change my name to. Because I felt like that I wanted a name that represented the new me. And if you hear my friends talking to me, they all say Joser. And that was the name that I was going by on Xbox for a long time. So I was looking for a name, and I was coming up with Master Key Bane, so MK Bane. That was gonna be my name from the Joser, because I felt like the Joser name was just not me anymore. Like, I was rocking the Joser name when I was really into horrorcore. That's why you probably see the Call of Duty emblems that I made. You're like, what? Or my 2000 the WWE 12 video just shows that I was really into hardcore. But I don't really listen to hardcore as much as I used to anymore. And I just wanted the name to show my progression or change. So I was gonna be known as MK Bane, or either I was juggling between Master Key Bane or what was the other one? Master Key Bane or I think it was Skullface Bane. But I was playing DC Universe Online, and I was just chilling with I was doing a mission, just chilling with Etrigan, because he's part of the mission, and he was just talking, and I knew about Etrigan since I was a kid, but something just in that moment just really clicked with me with Banetrigan. I mean, with Etrigan. So much so that I named myself Banetrigan. The beginning part of Bane and the ending part of... I just connected the two E's, basically. The E at the end for Bane and the E in the beginning of Etrigan. And I just became Banetrigan. And I remember in the beginning of my... rapping, I wanted to be... I had it like Etrigan has like, who awoken the demon from hellish fires? I'll put you all in burning pies. And or he has his the way he raps or rhymes, like gone the form of man, arise the demon Etrigan, like his rhyme for unleashing the demon. And I wanted to do that too, just like what is it? It's fuck, how did it go? I guess the point I'm trying to make is just trying to figure out if you truly want to pursue something. Think about your level of enjoyment of what you're trying to pursue, and see if that is what you truly want, because you acquire a deeper understanding. Like, there was a book I read. If I remember the book, I'll place the cover here. But it was talking about this guy who's a sword master, that he talks about the best way into, like, what was it? Like, you require... Your knowledge of swords should not just be your sword training. it should also inquire you learning other skills from other places, and then trying what you learn from those other, trying to learn those other skills and incorporating it into sword fighting, because you'll be amazed what you learn that way and what you bring to the table that way into this craft that you love, because you're learning from other, I guess, other genres or other things. So he was talking about, like, if you're gonna pick up sword fighting, don't just pick up sword fighting, pick up pottering and see how that can influence your sword fighting or your sword techniques. And apparently that holds a lot of truth. Like, if you're building, like, if you want to be I was watching this video, this guy was talking about, if you want to be a pro wrestler, it's good that you want to be a pro wrestler, but also pick up other martial arts, because they can help you develop your wrestling. Because you start practicing new techniques, and these new techniques can help you find new submission styles, or you gain better training and understanding on whatever you're lacking on wrestling. So it's not just do wrestling, but do other martial arts as well. And there was another video that I watched of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was talking about how he was doing bodybuilding, and this woman came to him and she said she's a ballet dancer and she can help him win more tournaments if he follows her advice. And Arnold was like, I'm a bodybuilder. What can a ballet dancer do for me? So Arnold was like, all right, let me give this a shot. And he learned about, what was it he said? He learned about different body positions and how just moving a certain way can just increase your chances of, like, not injuring yourself when you like pull a muscle and stuff like that, and also like increasing your max potential on different types of, like, the way you move, and like, it's crazy. And he said that because of, like, her advice, he was winning a lot more tournaments. And he said that you have to keep an open mind on how to improve. Like, if he just kept, like, a close mind, like, what is she gonna teach me? I'm a bodybuilder and she's a dancer. She's not gonna teach me anything. Then he would have never gotten better in bodybuilding if he didn't take her advice. And that's where I see where YouTube has taken me. It's like, well, I know how to advertise. I can do that in wrestling. I know I know how to bounce off of people, but I want to work on that as well. So I want to do Theater of the Oppressed. I want to work on myself physically, because, like, this is the best shape that I've ever been in my life, and this is the happiest I've ever been as well. So, like, there's just a lot of transferable skills. Also, being just comfortable on the mic. I think I said that several times. I don't know, because this is not scripted. So, like, if you want to be a rapper, don't just focus on just hip hop, but also like work on your, like, how do singers not get their voices hoarse? You know, just work on like like not using your all the tensions on your throat. Also, like, try to use your diaphragm. You know, like pick up techniques from like rockers or singers. You know, if you're trying to be unique and bring your own flavor into it, don't just focus on hip hop, because like people sampling, they don't look with just hip hop, what they consider from hip hop, but like from jazz or any other genres, and just blended it into a way they like. There will always be transferable skills. Like, things in life for everybody needs to be either fun or interesting. It needs to be either one of those two things, or both of those two things. It either has to be enjoyable for the person, or it gets them to think like, oh, I never thought of that. That is interesting. Or, oh, that's an interesting concept. You know, like it needs to get the person thinking. So it either brings them joy, or it just brings a new perspective and ways of thinking. And if you're trying to pursue like making a video game, or I think they were talking about making a video game, it needs to be either fun or interesting. And I just thought about that as like, what if I live, like if I had, like, okay, so I am committed in being a wrestler. Is it fun? Yeah. I remember wrestling as a kid, and I was having a lot of fun. Alright. What do I find interesting about it? I find everything about wrestling interesting, but if I had to pinpoint, I guess it has to be the storytelling, the techniques, and the persona that each individual wrestler brings. Because I find those, like, individuals, what the individual brings, quite interesting. So I guess if you're trying to figure out what you're trying to do, is just ask yourself, are you willing to take the pain that it comes with it? Do you find it fun or interesting, or both? I guess the best way I can describe how I feel is like the cartoon BoJack Horseman, where BoJack talks about how everything he does has to matter. But when you get to the end of the episode, you realize in the moment what we perceived as the most important thing at the moment isn't as important as we claimed it is. You know? Like, what was it? BoJack was trying to win an Oscar. And he says, if I win this, I am legit. If I win this, my life will get better. You know, like this is the most important thing in my life, you know? Like this object would change everything if I accomplish it. And he gets the Oscar, or the award. And then you realize, as the episode keeps going, that nothing really changed. It wasn't as important as you perceived it was. So it's like, well, do you want to build this amazing intro that you have in your mind, even though you're spending money on equipment or time learning how to do this for something you're perceiving at the moment to be really important? I believe in remixes. Like, everything is a remix. I don't believe in 100% original. Like, an idea you had must come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that idea you had is either a remix of an already existing idea. Like, what was it? The idea of the Game Boy or the Game & Watch. Like, yes, the Game & Watch is like the first, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like the first digital handheld, so you can just take it and play games on the go digitally. But the idea of the Game & Watch came from a guy. Some guy was looking at another guy just playing with his calculator. So the Game & Watch was built on the idea of another idea, but it became quote unquote original because it was the first video game, but the idea already existed. Even it's not an original idea, but it was a remix, you know? It's like building a calculator, but instead of for math, it's just for games. And like Dark Souls as well. People say it's original, but Dark Souls builds its ideas around other like franchises. Like, Dark Souls is a dope experience, but I see it as just a remix. Or Batman. Everybody loves Batman, or not everybody, but a lot of people love Batman. But Batman is just 3 ideas mixed into one character. Like, what was it? He's the Shadow. He's Sherlock Holmes and Zorro, if I remember correctly. So like, Batman is just a remix of other superheroes. Like, he's not 100% original. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand in on this. Of just remixes, not 100% originality, but bringing inspired by something and also bringing your own ideas to it. I'm done with that. You find what you are willing to suffer for in life, or what you're willing to take the pain on. And I'm not saying to give up on your goals or dreams. I'm just saying, whatever you learn, make sure that whatever you try to build yourself on, or you trying to reach, is to make sure that the difficulty and the challenge that you will face, and to constantly ask yourself if this is what you truly want to be doing. Whatever you choose on doing, always be adaptable on your situation. There is this children's story called Who Stole My Cheese? And the whole premise of the story is that you need to move on. You need to adapt to your surroundings instead of being fixated on how it used to be. So like there's this guy and they know where the cheese is. This is like a huge amount of cheese. So one day the cheese just disappears. All the cheddar's gone. So the guy goes like, I don't want to look for new cheese. I want how it used to be. Like the cheese was just here. I don't want to look for cheese. I don't want to, like, the environment, the situation has changed for him, and he doesn't want to change into what he needs to be for him to move on. You know, for him to move with the environment, you need to be adaptable. But he's like, no, I want the cheese to be here. I want the how it used to be. It was simpler how it used to be, and people around you would just start to move on. They start adapting with the world. It's gonna move on with or without you, and it's up to you to adapt to the situation. And what I'm saying is, whatever you pick, whatever your dream job or whatever pain that you're willing to take is, just make sure to be adaptable. Because things happen where I used to want to be a rapper, but I just want to be a poet. And or you just find that there's something else that you really like doing. And also people, I don't get it, but people say, well, if it's I want to do something difficult, and because it's difficult for me, that means it's better. Go with the path with the least resistance. Just because it's easy for you doesn't mean it's hard for somebody else. It's not hard for somebody else.